Hey everybody on YouTube, it's the Wingnut, and I've still got this bolt right here that is missing. And I remember a couple videos back I told you I would do a helicoil video, show you guys how to do that. You got a little tree sap right here. So what I got is a fix-a-thread. I got this from Partzilla when I had to order some bolts for the seat and the little washers. And essentially what we're going to do is take this off, drill the hole, tap it this size tap, and use these helicoils. So these are M6 by 10, and the drill bit we're going to use is, of all things, 6.3. It's what you're supposed to use, but what we have available is a 1/4 inch, which is 6.35, which will work just fine. And generally when you order these as a kit, they come with the tap, the install tool, the helicoils, and a punch, and the drill bit. Now different brands have different stuff. The fix-a-thread for this particular pack of M6 to 1 only comes with the tap, install tool, and this. So I'm providing the drill bit, which is the 1/4 inch, and then I'm going to drill and tap and install. I do not have the punch, but these are shallow enough and that's open at the bottom, so when I put the screw in, it should break it off just fine. Now, why a helicoil? So in the grand scheme of things, helicoils are a great tool for repairing threads. There's tons of stuff out there. There's the helicoil, or helical coil. Helicoil is a brand name. You have Easy Locks, which is a brand, and for an M6 you end up having to drill out for a M10 and install. So the hole that I'm dealing with isn't big enough for that. Then you have time certs. Time certs also are slightly larger, and you have a land on. And as I'm talking about this, I'm going to be popping pictures up here, 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 anywhere. It's got a little, like a top hat upside down. You drill it, tap it, set it in, and then you punch it on the sides and it locks it in. If I was doing a head repair and I had time to work on it, like say my spark plug blows out, like on shovel heads or V10 Ford pickup trucks, I would use a time cert. But if all you've got is a helicoil will work fine for that, just to get you home. There is another option for this. There's the I think it's JB Weld or another company makes a thread locker, or it could be yeah, so basically it's a thread maker. It's a 2-part epoxy. You blend it together, you put a piece of tape underneath the bottom side, you fill the hole with that stuff, and then you set your screw in it after it's been coated with an a mold release. And then when it dries, you just unscrew it and you have threads. That will, I don't like it. It will work. Project Farm actually did a long video on each one and how much they hold and everything else. And they did it in aluminum. Now what I'm drilling today is steel. But check out, there's a link in the description. You'll be good. So I'm going to go ahead and take these rest of these bolts out, and we'll be right back. All right, so I've got my tools out. I've got my helicoil. I went ahead and when I had it on here, I checked to make sure it actually fit the threads on the bolts, just in case something was wonky, even though from looking up the parts data, these are M6s plus measuring them several times before. Why? It just helps to be a little bit paranoid, because we want this to be a one and done. So I've got my drill bit set in here. I'm going to be drilling out this hole right here. It's really hard to see. And then I'm going to drill it, tap it, and go. So you want to try to put it in as straight as possible. And I know this isn't a great angle. Drill bit fell out. Now, the other option of this, of course, would be to take all this plastic and everything off and find a nut that is an M6x1, grind the old one off, snap the old one on with a clamp, and then tack weld the sides. That'll work if I had the bike apart, and honestly that's what I would prefer to do. But because this isn't carrying a super heavy load and I don't want to tear the bike apart, and this is something you can do on the road if you've had the kit, or you can find the kit because some part stores do carry them. We've got that. So now we're going to take our tap and our tool. Now you can use a regular tap handle, or you can use the tool to supply. We're going to try to use this tool. I've never used the Fix a Thread brand tools before, and generally you want to lubricate before you tap a hole, but because I don't have any threads, so you turn a little bit, you turn it back, turn a little bit, you turn it back. And what that's doing is, as you're turning, it's cutting those threads, it's making those sharp points, and it's building chips up around the teeth here. So when you turn it forward, it cuts, and when you turn it back, it breaks the chips loose. So you always go a little bit forward, a little bit back. In a pinch, I think this tool would be okay. I would prefer to have an actual tap handle. So let's just get through this. And what we're going to do is we're just going to tap it. And you can't just do a little bit. You can't just do like that much, because what we're tapping is that much. Because your tap is tapered. And I'll show you just a second. At this point I'm through it, so it's spinning pretty good. So now I've tapped my, see, that's tapped. I can do it with my finger without pressure. She's tapped, so we're going to go ahead and back it out. Take our tool off, unscrew our threads. So yeah, if you can see this, it's got a slight taper to the front. And you can see that where the chips are at, where it was actually making the cut. I don't know if I can get this to focus. Yeah, you can see the chips. So our thread's cut. So now we're going to take our install tool and our helicoil. We're going to put the helicoil over the install tool. And I am shooting with my cell phone, so bear with me. So it should look like this. And then I'm going to set this down in that hole and install. So basically what we've done is we've tapped this for the outside of the helicoil, and the inside is what we're after. I'm not digging this. The plastic is preventing my install tool from going any deeper, so that's making it kind of hard to get that in, but that's almost flush. If you didn't have the plastic in the way, like for every turn, I'm barely getting a turn in there. So if this stuck out a little bit further, this would work on something that's recessed like this. And generally, when you get the helicoil kit, it comes with a separate install tool, you know, the bit, everything, and you have something that's got a little bit more reach on it than this. But that, my friends, is in there and is just not flush enough for me. Let's see if I can't get a couple more turns on it. Sorry for the camera angle. This is really hard to do with a cell phone. Yeah. So that plastic is keeping me from turning it any further. But that helicoil is installed. It's a little higher than I would like. But you can see, sorry for the angles and the wind noise. You can see it's in there and it's installed. So now we have helicoil. So just to be on the safe side, I'm going to grab one of my bolts. This has got the spacer on it. I'm just going to make sure that threads in. And guys, that threads in. I have a functional bolt hole again. Now, helicoils, almost lost my, helicoils can be used in aluminum, steel, mild steel, stainless steel, if you want to retain your existing bolt size. So if this one gets stripped out, or this one gets stripped out, this is aluminum. I can do the same thing. I can drill and insert my helicoil, and we're good. And since these are good, I don't need it. And then I've got spare coils for later down the road. Now, I'm tool heavy kind of guy. I would highly suggest that if you own a motorcycle or a truck or anything with bolts in it, and you're going to work on it yourself, invest in a basic toolkit with, of course, everybody knows you need wrenches, screwdrivers, so on and so forth, in the right sizes. Get a thread repair kit, worth its weight in gold. I mean, if I was to take this into a shop to get repaired, they would charge me labor to take all this stuff off. They'd charge me for the nut. They'd clamp it on. They charge me 20 to 30 bucks just to zip that nut on. All right, and then they'd charge me to put it all back together. So you're talking $200-300. Yeah, or they do the same thing I'm doing and still charge about 100 bucks. I had the drill bits. I had to buy the helicoil kit, which I didn't have an M6. So that was 30 bucks. And a few minutes of my time. And it actually took me longer because I'm sitting here describing it. But if you guys are more interested in helicoils, time search, the thread repair stuff, link in the description for Project Farm. He did a really good video on that. But the reason I like helicoils is in a pinch or in an area like this where I don't have time to take it off, or I don't have the ability to take it off, and there goes Teddy. Oh yeah, by the way, we're out at the property. So, Teddy! Come here! Teddy, come! There he is. There's the Teddy. I know you're worried about Junior, my neighbor, driving down the road. All right, so now that I've got all that done, I've got all my spacers and everything, and you guys saw from the previous video where I did the install of this. I'm just going to put it back together the way I have. Now, once I'm actually done with all the mods to this, which is getting it ready to put the top box, make the top box removable, I will actually put some blue Loctite. I do keep the gel blue Loctite. This isn't Loctite brand, this is Permatex. Because Permatex does a gel. I also have a small container of Loctite blue if you ever want to take it off again. Red if you're never going to take it off again. Alright, guys, it's the Wingnut. Like, dislike, subscribe. Have a good one. Teddy, come here. You ride on a motorcycle?